Hello, Dream Team. Welcome back to our podcast.
Hey, beautiful people. Welcome to another exciting podcast of Here's a Thought with the Max. As usual, so excited. Here's a thought.
Here's a thought.
As usual, so excited to be back with my beautiful wife, with my best friend, guys. Just chopping it up with you guys. And thank you so much for all of the feedback that you've been giving us.
Thank you so much. Thank you to Rukhudise.
Oh man, how exciting was that? So
that
guys,
was so lit.
Yeah, that was amazing. So everybody that is not subscribed to us or following us on YouTube, you can find us at The Max. We just did a 3 times spicy noodle challenge
with an amazing couple.
Yeah, called Rukhudise. And let's just say it was challenging. It was a movie, guys. That thing was hot.
No, you know what? And people were so disappointed in me, guys. You know what? Please try it and then give us feedback. That thing was hot.
And a lot of people have also been asking where we got the noodles. Yes. So I know that the noodles are available at a lot of spas,
and Checkers.
Stores, I think. Mm-hmm. But we got ours from like a Chinese shop.
Yeah, like those small Chinese restaurants that sell. Sushi is Japanese, though, no?
I don't know. Hey, it's an Asian food store.
So you can find the noodles there.
All right, what are we talking about today, beautiful?
Today we are talking about Mjolo, but dating in the context of marriage. So the topic is how to keep dating each other within marriage.
You know, it's really interesting. So something you always say is, my husband and I have been dating for 13 years and married for 11 years. And a lot of people are like, what does that mean? It's because this is still my chair, It's still my girlfriend.
And I always call you Jubayaga.
Yeah, for sure.
Juba is slang in Praetorian for boyfriend. Yeah. Because you are my forever boyfriend.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't lose sight of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I think, one of the things we're going to unpack today is, unfortunately, a lot of people get into relationships, they get into marriage and they let themselves go.
Yeah.
And so we're just going to unpack some of those things today. All right. Let's get into it. Number 1, be intentional about spending time together. Be intentional. And one of the reasons we came up with this point, when I was chatting with my wife this afternoon, was that the reality is life gets in the way, guys.
Yeah.
Life gets in the way between your job and kids and friends. You kind of end up living your life just going through the motions. And then we realized as well that we needed to start being intentional about spending time together.
And I think when a lot of people think about spending time together, and I know that a lot of couples do this, they do date night, they're intentional about it, which is amazing. But the reality is sometimes life gets in the way, like you were saying.
For sure.
Sometimes you don't even have time for those date nights.
Yeah.
Right? So what we do is every morning, without fail, we make sure that the first hour of the day we spend together. We get ready together, whether it's taking a bath together or showering together, and we catch up.
Yeah.
And that has really worked out for us. Even if we don't catch up in the evenings, we know that we have spent that time in the morning just to connect.
For sure.
Without the kids, without the noise, just the two of us.
Yeah.
And usually the conversations go really well, hey? And
I don't remember them not going well,
No, but I mean, because we're so well rested, I think, as well.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
We're so well rested, our minds are clear.
Yeah.
We just really have great conversation. And even if I want something from you, I normally ask you in the morning and you will say yes.
Now I know. I didn't know that part. Me being a man and generally how we're wired, we're very practical. So I take it from a business principle. You know how I'm always talking about systems.
Yeah.
Right? I think spending that hour in the morning together is part of building a system into our relationship that kind of creates, sometimes you want to be intentional, but because you haven't scheduled it, because it's not something that you've diarized, it's not something that, it's easy to forget. It's easy to say, oh gosh, we haven't done this in a long time. We haven't had a date night in a long time. We haven't done certain things, you know what I mean? So if you can create a system, around something that you want to do intentionally, then it's so much easier. Then we know that, listen, it's the morning, this is what we do, and
And everyone has to take a bath, right? Or a shower.
Well, we hope so, because
babe, what I love about that is that even though we have different schedules,
you
might find that you are you'll be on set at this particular time and I
Yeah.
have to go to work and whatever.
Yeah.
We just make sure that we wake up at the same time.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I really love
Which is
that.
a really, really great practice.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2, make an effort to be sexy.
Yeah.
To stay sexy. Guys, you know.
I just had
Go
a
ahead,
Marvin.
go
I
ahead,
just had
go
a
ahead.
Marvin Gaye song. I don't know why.
Let's get it on.
Hey,
I've been feeling.
Hey.
Marvin
It just
Gaye.
popped in my mind.
Yeah.
Guys, make an effort to be sexy. So,
Make an effort,
as
guys.
Lerato
Make an
said,
effort.
life happens and sometimes we let go of ourselves, right? And it's just in the small things. I find that baby grooming is so important.
Yes.
You know, every time you come back from it, and sexy is different. Sexy is relative.
For sure.
Right? What turns me on doesn't necessarily mean that it turns the next person on.
For
For
sure.
me, if my husband comes back from the barber and he's clean shaven, I'm just like,
Now I'm saying.
"Listen." Right?
You're like, who you is?
I'm like, babe, you know, I sometimes, you're so sexy. I sometimes
And you
forget.
tell me. So
be like,
I'll come back from the
"Babe."
barber and she'll be like, who's this guy? Like, and she'll tell me, she's like, you know, I forget.
How
I
hot you
forget like how
are.
hot you are.
Yeah.
And then there's this awkward silence because I just don't know what to say to that. I think what also happens in relationships, my baby, is
Yeah.
that really we get comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially because your spouse has seen you at your worst.
Yeah.
You kind of can take it for granted that, you know what I mean? I can relax. I don't need to always be on. I don't always
Yeah.
need to. You know what I mean? And that's not a good thing.
And
You know?
for me, it's the little things. Generally, I don't fart in front of you, because that's
Which
how
I think I'm
that's
just-
how
yeah.
I keep my sexy.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I want you to look at me and think, Mara, this one does
She doesn't fart.
does
This
she
one.
even fart?
Yeah.
And that's my thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not to say that if I do fart, then it's the end of the world, because it has.
Well, you still
happened
get
that
embarrassed,
I
which
do.
for me,
I'm just like, oh my
I just find that so
word.
stupid. I'm just like guys, like we all fart.
And that, for me, that's just that one thing where I'm just
And
like,
I'm with you.
listen,
And the
I'm
weird
not
thing is,
farting in front of you.
and the weird thing is how differently we're wired. Like for
Yeah.
me, that speaks to a level of intimacy. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I'm like, yo, man, my wife
You know,
and I
I'm
are so
laughing.
what? Why?
laughing because every time you fart
Yeah.
in front of me, I'm like, oh, baby,
Yeah.
can you be sexy?
I'm just like, and baby, and I'm a fart. I'm gonna
Yeah,
fart
yeah.
because I'm just like, but my wife is so hectic about farting. Like sometimes I'll go to the bathroom to fart, and she'll be like, "Did you fart?" I'm like, "Wow, like where am I?" I went to the bathroom.
So what is that sexy for you from me? Because I've given you an example to say, you know, when you come back from the barber shop and
Yeah, real talk, baby. Like, but you're always, it's very hard for you to not be sexy.
Oh,
The like,
yes,
like
yes.
the se-
Where's so chama?
nah.
This one is a
no.
chama boy.
Now because now you're making it sound like I'm lying, but like,
Yeah.
like it's really like the only time you're not sexy is when you're mad.
Oh,
I don't like it when you're
Sure.
mad. Then I'm like, yeah, you're not sexy. You were sexy just now, and now I take it back. You're not.
so I don't have to do anything. It's not.
Nah.
It's not the lingerie. It's not.
That's
the
icing.
grooming. It's not.
But here's the thing: you're a well-kept woman, and
Oh, babe.
you are intentional about keeping it that way.
Yeah.
So I would be lying if I said, you know, I wish you would, you know.
Yeah.
So to this point, you know, you make an effort to stay sexy.
Oh, babe, I love
Am I lying though?
No, I do.
Yeah.
No, I do.
know
And
what I'm saying?
even after like
Even
a long
at
day,
home.
even after a long day,
Yeah.
like if you're trying to get all, I'm like, okay, baby, can I just freshen up?
Yeah.
But not, not obviously to
No, not all the time. To kill the mood.
To kill the mood, but
Yeah.
like there's those days where you feel like I've had a long day.
Yeah.
I've been driving around.
For
I'm
sure.
sweaty.
Which one should do? I think I do the
Right?
same.
No, you do.
Yeah.
You do. There's just something
Yeah,
about
because-
personal hygiene that's just very sexy and attractive.
That's like way up on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So guys, make an effort. Make an effort to be and to stay sexy.
Yeah.
Number 3, compliment and affirm each other. I think we do that
I
well.
think we do that very well.
Yeah.
I think we do that very well. I love it when you compliment me when I don't feel my best.
Sure.
And
It's good to know.
yeah, I mean, sometimes when you wake up, like I'll wake up and I'm thinking, like the first thing that you say to me is morning beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking I look crusty. And guys, let me share a secret with you because we're family. So when I sleep, I drool. I sleep with my mouth open.
Yeah.
And Lerato would wake up and I'd have that, I don't know what you call it in English, but
Yeah.
the dry drool on my cheek. And he'll be like, oh, you look so beautiful. I think that's amazing.
There's nothing sexier than drool running down your cheek in a Nike.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we do that well.
I think we do well to affirm each other.
Yeah.
I think we do well. I think we're getting better and better at it.
Yeah. But I'm also realizing that the reason we're so comfortable in affirming each other is that we're not in competition with one another. We're
that's good. That's
we're
good.
great cheerleaders of one another.
yeah.
When you do well, I'm beaming, I'm proud.
Yeah.
I'm like, babe, you smashed that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because when you do well, I do well.
Yeah.
It's bragging rights.
Yeah.
I got to go, yeah.
That's mine.
Yeah.
That's my
For
boo.
sure. Yeah. I think it's really important as well to teach our kids. Because kids, kids. I've got an attitude against kids.
What do they do?
Because kids just sometimes, oh man,
Yeah.
they're competitive.
Yeah.
They're nasty. They just,
Unnecessarily so.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So just teaching your kids to say, well done. Teaching your kids to say, wow, I'm so proud of you. I'm so
Yeah.
happy for you.
Yeah.
And even if you don't mean it, if you say it long enough, eventually it's going to do something on the inside of you.
I agree.
And what better gift can you give to people around you than just to make them feel great?
I
At
love
all
that.
times.
I
So,
love
so
that.
yeah, like affirm each other, guys. Familiarity breeds contempt, and there's a reason that saying exists.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just take your person for granted and just be like, you'll be surprised that once you start doing it, then your partner starts sharing with you that, man, I needed to hear that. It means so much to me when you say that, when you affirm me, when you say well done, when you say
Yeah.
don't worry about that. You've got another shot at it. Pick yourself up. It's cool. I got you.
Yeah.
Would you like me to get you something?
Sure.
I'm really sorry that happened. Gosh, don't worry about it. It was a mistake, but you can do it again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just affirm each other, guys. It's so important.
Yeah. And babe, you did that really well for me when I was pregnant as well. 'Cause
Oh, really?
For women, I think when we're pregnant, our bodies go through a lot and we change, we gain weight, and you would, without fail, you would tell me that I look beautiful.
Yeah.
Every single day. Even now, I mean, there's a saying where they say you call me beautiful like it's my second name. Was it like my first name?
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I
I
like that.
I really appreciate that about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome. Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you. Thanks, babe.
I'm blushing. Guys, the next point, be best friends.
Be besties.
I didn't know this when we got married.
Okay.
When we got married, I didn't reserve the best friend tag for
Sure.
you. And it's not to say that I had another best friend, but I wasn't intentional about sharing with you being the first person to know.
So you hit it well because
I
wasn't aware.
Yeah.
I just always thought that.
Let me say psychologically. Do you know what I'm saying? Psychologically, I hadn't been intentional about reserving that space and saying, this is my best friend.
I get you.
You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
So I was kind of going through life, and I had no less love for you, but I wouldn't necessarily put you before, because when you get into a relationship, you quickly realize that you guys have different interests.
Yeah.
And so it was like, well, your interests are your interests and my interests are my interests. And I would be okay with kind of going somewhere without my wife. Now, when you've got a best friend, the first person you're going to call is be like, yo, there's this thing happening, let's go, right? And I was so comfortable with this, with you being the wife. It was like, no, but she's my wife. And then these are my friends. Does that make sense?
It's crazy because I wasn't really aware that.
But now that I make the example, does it?
I think. I don't know. Like I'm saying that maybe, not that you hit it well, but Nikisa shorty. I don't know if it makes sense.
For sure.
So there was nothing.
You weren't lacking.
There was nothing lacking.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really aware that you hadn't reserved that title in your mind psychologically for me.
Yeah.
I've always felt like I was your best friend.
Well, mind you, I didn't know it either.
But I think you are right, because Shem, the older you get, you are really becoming more sentimental and a lot more mushier. Because now you get really touched if you're not the first person to hear something.
Yeah.
Like if something happens in my life and
Yeah.
maybe I'll call Skips or my sister or whoever, then you're like, why didn't you tell me first?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because now there's that expectation, because I'm like, yeah, but you're my best friend.
I get you.
So now that I've reserved that for you, I'm going, no, but isn't it obvious?
And I think what's nice about maybe a practical way of remaining best friends, like we're saying, be the first one to let your partner be the first one to hear about your trials, your triumphs, don't reserve it. Don't tell everyone else. And then, I need to tell my husband, or I need to tell my partner.
With emotional intelligence. So it doesn't mean that you have to tell your partner everything. Because sometimes they can't handle everything, right?
But I'm thinking with like the big things, like you just got a promotion.
Oh my gosh,
work,
right? Don't call your mom and then call your wife. Oh my gosh, what a douche. Don't do that.
So with especially with the triumphs, the exciting
the victories.
news, or you just found out that you're pregnant, and then you're telling your best friend before you tell your husband. I'm just no. So I think that's just how
unless you want to plan a surprise with your best friend to announce it to your husband, that's different.
So I think maybe a lot of people might struggle with, but how do we make it practical? What are the practical ways of remaining besties? And I think also finding things that you can do together. Like fun things that you can do together.
For sure.
Right? Because generally, what would you do with your girl best friend or your male best friend? Just extend that to your partner.
And the thing, man, about relationships is that there is, I don't want to get super spiritual, but there is a negative energy against good relationships. One of the trending slurs in South Africa is it will end in tears.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And it's such a negative energy that people put on relationships. If you're in a great relationship and you're willing to go the extra mile for your woman, they say that you have been bewitched. That's the best way to
like
bahuloile or ujisitswe or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And there's a huge discouragement when it comes to really solid, healthy, amazing relationships. Be intentional about pushing back. You know what I mean? And your partner gets to be your best friend. You absolutely have permission, 120% for your partner to be your best friend, and let them talk. That's okay.
And sure, you touch on a very interesting point, babe, because that's also very cultural.
Yeah.
especially in the black communities. I've
Yeah.
seen when white men are very romantic and they're running around and cooking and changing the kids and whatever, it's romantic.
They're celebrated.
They're celebrated. But when a black man does that,
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, nah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
shapile ka phenti, you've
For
been
sure. And your
bewitched.
friends will laugh at you.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And that's the conversation that is had around the braai.
Yeah.
You know, me coming and bringing my wife, you know, dishing up for my wife is like a woo. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And I, admittedly, you know, there were parts of me that gave into that pressure at times, you know, to be like, but, you know, baby, you know, it would be nice if you would just, you know, dish up
out
for
for
me.
me.
You know what I'm saying? Where that expectation wasn't there in the beginning. And then I said to her, well, I mean, it would be nice if you would just, you know, because I don't want the conversation. Yeah, because I don't want the conversation to always be about me and whatever. But I'm older now. You know what I mean? I'm older now and I'm wise and I'm going, no, it is up to me to change that narrative. You know what I'm saying? You know, baby, and well, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but whenever we're out, it's me playing with the kids. You know what I mean? Like taking care
all
and
the time,
whatever, and you know, making sure that they're good, and you know, and it's slightly frowned upon. You know, and yeah, this is another subject. We must talk about this one.
We have
but
to.
anyway,
We have
but
to.
be best friends with your partner, because at the end of the day, it's just the two of you guys. You guys are the ones that you go to bed together. Happy wife, happy life. You actually wanted to say this in another installment that we had. I wanted to embellish on that to say, guys, there's a reason that saying exists.
Yeah.
Like you will not have a happy home if your wife is not happy. Trust me. It doesn't matter what you do. Put your wife's joy and happiness first.
I like you.
And one of the things that we don't do is really just being intentional about saying, okay, what can I do today to put a smile on my wife's face? You know, and part of that is again finding ways to spend time together, to play together, to have fun together. I didn't realize the value of that until we started doing it after starting our channel. Like the full value of it, because when you do it in spurts, then you're still trying to find each other. You're still trying to find like, okay, I like this and you don't like that or whatever. And then you'd rather just not do it together because it's just another thing. You know? And you do those activities to get away, right? You want to escape. You want to, that's what fun is all about. But when you can find that magic between yourself and your partner, there's nothing better.
Amazing.
Nothing
Love
better.
that.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's it.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen.
No, that's not it, baby.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No.
You had one more point. Yes.
No. One more point. You actually touched on it now.
Yeah.
I find that we don't play enough together. So you say that when
I play.
When you play, I said you were rough.
Yeah.
But I think play is different to everyone. Play doesn't mean that we have to wrestle each other and throw each other against the wall and tackle each other and whatever. You know, so play for me is very different. I think
sorry. Because I really want you to because I want to make it practical.
Yes.
All right?
Yeah.
This is how we solve things.
Okay.
What does play look like to you? How would you like me to play with you? Make it practical.
I'm gonna sound boring.
That's fine. That doesn't matter as long as I know.
So I think there's little things that you do. You know, sometimes you would tickle me.
You hate it when I tickle you.
In the beginning.
You still hate it.
But I laugh.
Well, no, you don't. You say, baby, leave me. I don't like that. And then I stopped.
I thought I liked it when you tickle me.
No, you don't.
No. Okay. What else? How else do I want you to play with me? I think okay, maybe this wasn't such a great point. But I think, baby, for me, playing is just tapping out and not thinking about work. You know, we could potentially just go for a walk, go to the park. You know, sometimes we do that with the kids. Just switch off and play with the kids as
switch
well.
off with the kids. And
so what does play look like to you? Is play like tackling each other?
You know what? Honestly, very much like our intimate life, our sex life.
Yeah.
The most amazing thing for me, I would define play by what you like.
Okay.
But I don't know
how I want to play.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
So you can think about it. I'm not trying to put you under pressure.
But do play, guys.
Yeah.
However that looks like to you.
Yeah.
Do play.
Yeah. I think we do verbal play.
No, we do.
You know, like banter, teasing each other.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of play we do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
and I've got a last one.
Okay.
To close it off.
Yeah.
Have pet names for each other.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I struggle to find a pet name for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a pet name for me?
Junju. When I'm playing, then yes, I do.
Yeah.
You know, but you should tell me if I have a pet name for you.
You call me everything.
I call you beautiful, gorgeous. My pissin.
Yeah. So you've got all sorts of pet names for me. I think for me, and I know that it's endearing to other people, but I don't want you to call me Malehakwe or Mabakwena or my little. For me, that is not endearing.
I'll say that when I'm shouting at you.
Not even. You don't.
No, I'm saying in future.
But
Mabakwena, you don't do that here.
For me, I just don't find it very endearing.
For sure.
And very sexy.
Yeah.
I think a pet name should evoke something in me.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
Thank you for this conversation. It was so much fun. Guys, if you're watching us on YouTube, please comment below.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think of the conversation, what you think of the points. We love reading all of your comments. We don't get to all of them. That's a lie. We don't respond to all of them, but we read all of them. And it gives us great conversation to say, wow, it was so interesting. You know, I read a comment today that said this, that said that. So please continue to do that. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, share, turn on your notifications to know every single time we upload a new installment. We are on different digital platforms for our podcast. Guys, I know. We are on Google Podcasts, by the way.
Are we now?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're on Google Podcast, but we're still waiting for Apple. I don't know what the issue is, guys, but we're trying to sort it out.
Yeah.
So and we're on Spotify. Those are the main ones.
Yes.
And then whichever other podcast platforms.
There's Breaker and all
There's
those
Breaker
other
and
ones.
there's Anchor.
Yeah.
There are a whole lot of platforms.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, was
Boys and girls.
another riveting installment podcast of Here's a Thought. Here's a Thought. Here's a Thought.
Of Here's a Thought. Guys, we love you. We appreciate you.
So much.
Thank you so much for all of the support, all of the love, peace and blessings. My name is Lerato Macheta. This is the beautiful Petola Macheta. And together we are the Max. Peace and blessings, people.
Love you.
We out.
Bye.